Hey, and welcome back to the Rick and Dafs podcast. I'm Rick.
And I am Bagsby, filling in for Dafs.
And we are here unscripted and raw.
There you go. That sounded good.
Vocal fry.
Nice vocal fry.
I like
unscripted and raw. Very raw sounding.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah. I always feel like Dafs doesn't do enough energy. He needs to sound angrier when he does it.
I haven't seen Dafs angry.
That's true. I haven't really ever seen him mad either. And we went through nursing school together.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've only actually seen Dafs like 4 times, too, so I guess that makes sense.
Dafs does have, this is like one quick aside, and then we'll get to work. He does like have the worst luck when it comes to filling out forms of anybody I've ever known.
Wait, how do you have bad luck filling out forms?
Like, either he fills out wrong, or he fills it out right, and there's some sort of like clerical error. Like, he had to have the Washington Nurses Association, like, the government fix his license because it came back for, like, Branthner or something like that. Then they gave a scholarship in college to somebody else for similar reasons. His paperwork on his car got ruined.
I want to know if it's bad luck or he's just really bad at filling out forms.
I'm fairly suspicious he needs to hire a secretary to just do all his paperwork for him.
Yeah.
But Dafs is gone. He is on vacation, but we needed to keep the wheels a-turning. So we brought in Bagsby, fresh back from the south.
Yeah, Hotlanta.
Yeah, that's right. So he came back in to fill in. So we're taking a break from our worst bosses, and we are just doing a regular Rick and Dafs episode. This week, Forrest Gump and the logistics behind his 3-year run. We have some major complaints.
Yeah, we do.
Lots of them. We're also going to hit the superhero baby daycare.
Yes.
Also have some thoughts on that, and also the news. But before we get started, I should mention we are on Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iTunes, YouTube, and now Spotify.
Congratulations, you made it to Spotify.
I know that we were in review for a really long time.
Yeah. How long does that process take?
Well, it took for us about a month.
That's a long time.
I'm not sure whether that's because like they just were really slow, but I understand that they actually literally review your content.
Like all of your
So
content?
some poor bastard had to listen to every episode.
And how many episodes did you get up to?
Nearing 70.
So we're looking at a week's worth of work and just listening to your podcast.
The last 15 or so are about an hour long.
Yeah, okay.
So there's some crazy guy working for Spotify who's probably going nuts right about now. Either that or he's like a huge fan. He's got Stockholm syndrome.
He's probably looking forward to the next episode. He wants to know about the worst bosses for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, Captain Hook has the inside track after his stunning performance. And I went back and re-listened to that to see, like, were we just too kind?
Yeah.
And I could see a few points being taken off here and there, but nothing that would bring him even close to the other scores.
Well, yeah, because the next one you said of all time was Iron Man, who's in the same episode.
31,
right?
yeah.
31, and
so
that's a big drop. You could drop one of his entire scores, and he'd barely below that.
Exactly. So and that's not feasible.
No.
I mean, though realistically, the most I could see him dropping, like if we were like, okay, maybe we got carried away, was maybe 2 points.
Yeah.
That's still 36.
Yeah.
There's no
Incredibly
way.
high.
Incredibly high. So he's got the inside track, and we are probably going to start the playoffs late August, early September. So stay tuned for that. And then it's going to be worst bosses through the end of the year.
I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know if anybody out there watches Westworld, but I definitely think that some of those guys could qualify as terrible bosses, as their entire theme park was overrun by robots who murdered most of the guests.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like very good management.
No, not so much. Anyways, we should probably get to the topic at hand.
Forrest Gump.
And his logistics of running.
Yes.
Before we get started, do you want to give people a quick rundown of Forrest Gump and where he's from and what he did?
Well, Forrest Gump is a movie based on a man who was slow. He had some mental handicap.
It's essentially mentally handicapped individual interacts with history
everywhere.
Every single, it's like a folk tale kind of.
Like he's like with JFK at some point in the war too. Some sort of shrimp stuff. I don't remember it all. I didn't actually watch the movie for like it's been probably 7 or 8 years. So
That's we watched the running scene though because
Yes.
it comes up a lot. Because at one point in time he runs for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
which seems like an extremely long run. He ends up crossing the state 3 or 4 times.
He crosses the
Not
U.S.
state, sorry, the country. Yes.
Yeah, and then he just turns around and runs back.
Yeah.
Because apparently he just wasn't done running.
Yeah.
He runs somewhere between 15,000 and 19,000 miles. It's hotly debated on the interwebs.
Yeah, people argue about which routes he must have taken based
Yes.
on the scenes in the movie and
Yes.
stuff. So
But I have a lot of problems with this. For one thing, this guy leaves his house for many years. He's not like his house is either broken into, burned down, condemned, or been repossessed by the government because he hasn't been paying taxes.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, there's no indication of anything. He's literally sitting on his porch and says, I feel like going for a run, and
Yeah.
he does. He just starts running there.
Yeah, he
doesn't
says,
make any preparation.
Yeah, he says when he sleeps, when he's tired, and he eats when he's hungry. And then other than that, he's just running the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know if he's bathing. He's grown a big beard. It looks well kept, so maybe he's stopping to bathe as well. But
Maybe. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
Because
sorry.
clearly he was stopping to bathe because we worked it out. And what was it? Even if he was going the full 19,000 miles.
it was still only like 16 miles a day.
No, it wasn't even that. I thought
that
it
was
was like...
the 19. If you went 19,000,
was it
miles.
16? I thought it was like 14 or something.
14? No, I don't remember. Now
Okay,
already,
so the
but-
average human walks between 3 and 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's not running. That's
It's
walking.
So he could have walked that distance in like a couple hours.
Yeah, like half a day, 6 hours tops.
Like
really.
they make it out to be so impressive. Like, oh, he's just running all the time. Well, no, he could have literally walked for 5 hours and then like that was his day.
Yeah,
Like he could have walked 16 miles or 15 miles pretty easily in 5-6 hours.
and that's on the high side. If it's on the low side, it was like closer to 12 miles.
yeah, then
It was
he's just
4 hours.
he
of
just
walking.
literally walks for 4 hours and then he's done.
Yeah.
And he just sleeps. So there's no way that I should be impressed.
Yeah.
They make it sound like it's really impressive, but what it really turns out is that it's a man slowly, very slowly,
He's more ambling across the country.
ambling across the country, taking his sweet time,
Yeah,
tricking people into following him.
there's a big group of people by the end.
A big group of people. People are clearly giving him clothes and shelter and food.
Yeah.
Because they think that like he's some sort of shaman wizard.
Yeah.
So what I think is he just was like, well, I have nothing to live for. I'm just going to start scamming people. And so he just spends 3 years scamming people.
I mean, I think that's fair, but also I feel like he didn't really like gain a lot because again, going back to the house, like you're leaving, you already own the house, right? You got property, you got everything you need there.
Yeah.
You
Also,
start
who's
running.
collecting his bubblegum shrimp or whatever?
Bubba Gump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's his shrimp money?
I don't know.
Some person's definitely ripping him off this
Yeah.
whole time.
So if he's thinking he's going to scam someone and like get rich quick, he's really made a big mistake.
Well, that makes sense though because he isn't very smart.
That's true. He's also kind of like honest though. Like I don't know if he would directly want to scam people. I think that it's more of a I don't really know what's going on, but literally I have nothing better to do, so I'm gonna run.
Yeah. I mean, I love the movie, and Tom Hanks is a great actor.
Love Tom.
But this part doesn't make any. Here's the other thing. So these people are following him, and then at the end of the whole montage, when he turns around, he stops running, and he turns around, and somebody's like, he's gonna say something, which indicates to me he hasn't spoken to any of them the entire time.
At least not a significant amount.
So they're just following him, just on the vague hope that he'll
not only
do
that,
something.
I mean, he's on like the news eventually too. Like people are like running with him, being like, "Hey, what are you running for?" And he's just like, I just want to run.
I'm just running,
I'm
but
just
he's
running.
not running very hard.
No, he's ambling. He's walking quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. Now this whole story is breaking down.
Yeah. And
It's making me think that this movie is actually just about a scam artist who pretends to be slow.
he does always seem to come out on top.
Yeah.
In every situation
He's
he
just
gets
really
to.
secretly screwing people up. Maybe that's why Jenny screws him over, because she sees through him.
She's actually the only one smart enough to
This
see
whole
what's
time
happening.
I've despised Jenny, but now as we're getting into this, I'm realizing she's the, like, of the whole show, she's the only one who sees him for what he is. He's a horrible monster.
What is it, Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant
He
Dan.
hates him. Dan hates him for most of the movie.
Yes.
Again, this is all a little bit fuzzy, but didn't he lose his legs because of Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it
He,
his
like,
fault?
kind of sabotages him.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, Forrest Gump is certainly a terrible person.
Yeah, this is not turning out the way I thought this would turn out.
Yeah, so do you think people are taking him in? Like, it just says he sleeps when he wants to. Do you think he's, like, sleeping on benches, or he's just,
Well,
like...
if he's a scam artist, he's got to be taking advantage of people. I mean, he's eating.
he's always got new clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He leaves his house wearing, like, his khakis and his, button-down shirt, and then ends up in,
He's
like...
very 50s looking man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ends up coming at the end of the thing. He's got, like, nice outdoors, equipment, clothing, hat...
Yeah.
A really nice looking jacket. Probably keeps him warm. He could probably sleep with just the jacket if he needs to. It's like warm enough to do that.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think he must be scamming. He must be taking advantage of people. Like, maybe at the very beginning, people thought, "Oh, this is odd. I'm not going to let this weirdo in my house." But especially after he's been on the news and he's got like a following.
There are plenty of cult leaders out there.
That's true.
Maybe he just was like, "I'm tired of being a cult leader."
I'm gonna go home. Yeah, I'm tired. When he said I'm tired, he's not saying I'm tired of running. I'm tired of manipulating.
Well, how
people.
could he be tired of running if he only goes 12 miles a day?
I don't know.
He literally he could walk for 3 or 5 hours and then literally do nothing the rest of the day. And if that's your only job, I mean, that's pretty easy.
I guess, to be fair, he never actually says how long and far he runs. He just says, he just says how long, not how far. So maybe he's not taking a direct route back and forth. Maybe he is running for 20 some miles a day and just going wherever he wants to go, not in a direct straight line from one end.
Yeah, but it says he gets to California. Well, but does he go to New York at one point? But these internet crazy people have worked it out.
That's true.
I mean, if he was running up to Canada, I feel like we'd know that.
Yeah,
it would be in the movie.
They'd mention it. So you're probably right.
I mean, he's basically, what we've done is exposed him for the monster that he is.
So next time you're thinking about Forrest Gump and you feel bad for him, think, nah, he's kind of a rotten person that takes advantage of everybody he comes in
when
contact
he says
with.
life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. He mostly means you don't know that I'm going to take advantage of you and ruin your life.
Yeah. He's already rigged the box of chocolates. He's already eaten all the coconut-filled ones.
No, he's eaten all the best ones. There's probably one that's like filled with prunes or something.
Those cherry chocolate ones.
Yeah, the ones that's gonna ooze out onto your nice clothes and ruin it. And
you bite and it bursts open.
Yeah, and you just think, oh, that nice man, he didn't know he was giving me the worst one. He kind of reminds me of that mafia boss who pretended that he was disabled and crazy to get the law off of him. He'd walk around in a bathrobe and pee on the street and stuff, but really was secretly the mob boss the whole time.
I have not heard about this.
You should look that up. It's ingenious.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't. They'll just leave you alone if they think that he's just nuts. There's no way he's capable.
He pretended to be crazy for 20 years.
Wow. Well, that is dedication too.
It is. So, Forrest Gump, he could do it. He may have been keeping it up that entire time.
Yeah.
Then he tells that lady his tale. So, anyways, Forrest Gump, mob boss, or slightly disturbed individual.
Yeah. Either way, not your lovable.
No, he's a monster.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've really done the public a good service there by exposing that. So should we move on to the news?
Definitely.
All right. Then it is the news. Cue the music.
It is cute.
Okay.
That you have to move it.
I was going to call you Dafs, but you're not. All right. Well, Bagsby. All right, Bagsby. Dozens of drunk seagulls found on southwest beaches. This story comes to us from rainy old England. Dozens of drunk seagulls have become disoriented and confused after scavenging alcohol in southwest England. Some have... I shouldn't be laughing at this. Some have died and others are seriously ill. The RSPCA is saying birds were probably feeding on waste products from the local brewery. So my question is, have you ever been attacked by a seagull?
No, but wasn't it you that had a seagull fly into his car?
No, but when I was in Italy, a seagull legitimately bit Molly's hand to try and get the sandwich out of it.
I didn't know seagulls love sandwiches.
It flew into her. So what I'm thinking is a drunk seagull would be even less inhibited.
Yeah, well, the seagull I remember, I thought it was your car, but apparently not. Someone was driving in front of me, and a seagull, open window, just swoops right in. The guy jumps out of the car.
Into the car?
Into the car.
Wow.
Yeah, and just flapping around. The guy, like, jumps out of the car. He looks back at me, and, like, he's apologetic. Like, dude, why are you apologizing? Like... Yes, a seagull flying this guy.
Was this your friend?
No, I thought it was you. This entire time. This happened when I was like 16. I was when we were going to Green River.
I feel like I would know that.
Yeah, I think that you would remember.
I would remember being assaulted by
seagull
a
flies in the car, kicks the guy out. He flies out.
So, Mike,
that's it.
Wouldn't you think that the number of seagull attacks should be going way up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like they'd just be even more uninhibited and be ready to attack.
Yeah. Well, because they see what they want and then they just go for it. And there's not that part of the brain that says this might be dangerous.
Well, they're already doing that. They're already attacking people for their food.
But carefully.
Carefully. Now they're just renegading in. Maybe it's like the birds.
They'll mob up.
Yeah, they'll just like 10 or 15 of them just like go attack some guy with a hamburger.
I would pay to see that.
I would pay to watch him run away. I don't think I'd want to watch him be brutally murdered by a flock of seagulls.
I mean, I don't think the seagulls would eat him. I think they'd, once the guy dropped the burger...
What if the alcohol just gives them a taste for blood?
They become, like, carnivores?
Yeah. What if... Well, you know the hippos will just, like, randomly kill crocodiles, you know?
That's true.
And once they get the taste for blood, I mean,
it's all
bets are off.
And you can't stop a hippo.
And they say that, alcohol just makes you more of what you are. It's kind of like money. If you were rich and you're a jerk before, you're just going to be an even bigger jerk once you're rich. Well, alcohol is the same way. So what? They're always bloodthirsty, but they're too smart for it. Yeah, and then the alcohol just makes them more bloodthirsty.
That's what I'm going to choose to believe.
This could be the start of the bird uprising.
Yes.
All this time I've been fearing the ape uprising.
You've misplaced your fear.
Well, actually, if birds did try and kill us all, think about it. If they banded together, there's like way more birds in the world than humans, I would guess.
Well, that's true, but I mean, the actual scary birds, though, there's not going to be,
but they have lots of numbers. Plus, think about their mobility.
But you could just, like, close your windows around here. Eagle's, like, the scariest thing we have here.
That's true.
I mean, I wouldn't want to fight an eagle, but also I think that if me and the eagle were in a death match, I could probably come out on top.
If you had a weapon. If he had claws? I mean, he'd
mess me up.
He'd totally mess you up. If he nicked an artery, you'd be dead.
Hollow. Like, if I get one good hit on him, he'd probably
fly away. I don't know. He can fly.
That's true.
I feel like he could kill you.
I mean, like golden eagles, have you seen those things? Those things could for sure kill me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he was intelligent enough to decide that he was going to take over the world with his bird buddies.
Yeah. Two eagles, I'd be gone.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh man, that would be terrible. Each one flaps up and grabs you on either side.
What about, like, the U.S. military, though, versus all the birds in the world?
I mean, they could probably kill them, but, I mean, at the cost of blotting out the sun or something. Which, actually, this is funny because it brings me to another one of our news stories we did in the past, and I don't remember which episode, but it was essentially after World War I or World War II, Australia, like, had all this extra machine gun ammo laying around. And they were like, there's too many emus, we gotta cull the emus.
Oh, yeah.
And so they tried to, like, gunned down the emus with their submachine guns, and they didn't kill a single one, and they wasted like 18,000 bullets or something like that. It's like called the Great Emu War.
Yeah.
No emus were harmed.
They lost the Great Emu War.
Yeah, so I mean, if those are on the land,
And those are large. Emus are large birds.
so like that just really honestly is bringing my expectations down
Yeah.
for the government to be able to stop them. So if this is indeed the beginnings of the bird uprising, man, I'm worried.
Brewers, keep your waste away from the birds.
Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need this scary bird uprising. Now I'm thinking about all the bird uprising possibilities. We should probably move on from the news before I just start talking about the bird uprising.
Save that for another episode.
Stay tuned for the episode upcoming on the bird uprising. Okay, so that is the news. So, what's next on the docket?
Next, last on the docket
Well-
is superhero.
Well, you don't know
Daycare.
that. I mean, I might go on to some
That's
new
true.
tangent, perhaps, or start talking about the bird uprising.
Hey, if we have time, we can get to that.
No, so superhero baby
Babies,
care.
yeah.
Baby daycare for superheroes.
But the babies have superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you thinking of?
Well, no, I just wanted to clarify because maybe and Superman could make a pretty good nanny. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he can fly. He's basically invulnerable. And
He'd be a good nanny for super babies as well, actually.
yeah, exactly. Well, so what spurred this for me was I recently saw Incredibles 2, which is a fantastic film. I highly urge Bagsby to go see it, but instead he went to see Fallen World, Jurassic Park.
Yes. Which was everything that you want it to be.
Yeah, I actually went through a list with him of things that I wanted to see in the movie, including foolish decisions
Made for monetary gain.
made for monetary gain, people falling from inexplicably high heights,
Yep.
and like just random citizens getting murdered by dinosaurs.
Yes. All in the movie.
I feel like I should just watch like the previews, and then I've pretty much watched all the best parts.
That's mostly true, but it's just how much of it do you want? How much gratuitous dinosaur violence do you want? That's the real question we have. But The Incredibles, you saw that.
Oh yes, and as those of you who saw the first movie know, Jack has quite the powers.
Several powers, seems like.
Lots, 17 in fact.
Ooh.
But this continues to be in the next movie. He has many powers. But I was thinking about it because they kind of talk about it in the movie. How would you raise a baby that had superpowers? Especially if you're a superhero. So your options are this. You either stay home, like you have to have one super parent. Well, that's the other thing. Because the Incredibles, they happen to be married to each other.
Right.
But, like, what if you're just like, I'm Gazer Beam. I don't need no super mega lightning babe. I'm just going to marry a regular gal.
Well, a lot of people do
Or
that.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, what if Elastigirl had just been like, nope, not for me. Just marrying Ed.
Ed from
the
accounting.
the insurance salesman or accountant. Ed can't stay home with Jack.
No, he literally would be killed.
He would be killed by his own child when he wouldn't give him a cookie.
Right.
So, like, obviously, like, Elastigirl can't stop being Elastigirl to raise some kid because the world needs her. So, there must be superhero baby care, right?
There's got to be.
So Ed doesn't get murdered at home.
Well, and The Incredibles 2 is a world where it's not necessarily common, but it's not unusual. Everyone knows, like, the supers exist, right?
Yeah.
And so there has to be some measure of, like, secrecy, though, because they all have hidden identities.
Well, yeah, you don't want your kid to be kidnapped. Although, I mean, good luck.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd probably call it something like super care. some such.
It's real subtle. That's good. Well, and I'd imagine that you in the perfect world, you'd have people
have to
with superpowers raising the babies, but I imagine that's not always the case. Sometimes you're going to have like regular people.
Well,
have
if
to watch
that was
super
the case,
babies.
if you was just like a regular babysitter, you'd have to like give them some sort of crazy bear suit to where they couldn't be killed, because just trying to maintain like some small sense of order, discipline could get you murdered by some kid with laser vision or super strength or, you know, who knows what.
Yeah.
It's just a miracle that one little girl who was babysitting in the first movie survived.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, she could have been killed numerous
she was
times.
traumatized too.
Yeah, they had to erase her memory.
Is that what they did?
They Men in Blacked her.
That's terrible. Like that, you can't be doing that all the time. Just
Messing
to raise a
around
child.
with people's brains.
Well, and that was one evening too. That's the thing. It wasn't
It was
like
only one night, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, I bet somebody's done some math equation that was like potential for her to get killed over time.
Yeah.
She'd be dead within a week.
There's no way.
I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but Mr. Incredible, luckily, is a superhero because he almost gets murdered by his own son numerous times. So, but you're right. So either you have to have a human. I strongly advise against that, taking care of the children, because that's just, it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Or you have to have a superhero. But here's the problem. Is any superhero is any decent one is probably out fighting crime.
Right.
Or they're older and want to like settle, like want something more mellow, which I don't know if that's even more mellow as raising children.
No,
like
that's
the
definitely
crazy
not more
superhero
mellow,
children, or it's like the worst superheroes,
right?
Who don't have good powers.
Yeah, because it'd be like the superheroes, their sidekicks, and then like people with superpowers that couldn't quite cut it.
Like
a sidekick, you know, they have all the other jobs.
Yeah, like you can make people vomit.
Yeah,
that's about it.
And that's not really going to help you if you've got a baby that could spit fireballs.
Like
at
Dafs
you.
and I have this alter egos called Bismol Boy and Vomit Man.
It's good names.
Maybe if there was some indestructibility built in, maybe we could.
I mean, I would imagine that there'd be some tools that you'd use. I mean, in the first, again, I haven't seen the second one, but in the first movie, I can't remember his name. The guy with the red hair, though, has like that beam that he could, you know, shoot people with that just puts them in stasis for a minute. So, like, you got a child getting out of control.
Put them in stasis.
Yeah, put them in stasis for a minute. Like,
and then
it's
move
like
them into the
timeout, but
safe
extreme.
room. Yeah, move them into the safe room. Well, you'd also have to discriminate against, like, non-superhero kids.
Yeah.
Basically, because any, like, small human child would get killed, too.
Oh, instantly.
You could not put them together.
Well, and
when could your kid even go in public? You couldn't probably bring them out into public until, like, they were, like, 7.
Yeah, I mean, at 4 or
6 or 7.
5-year-old, like, you never know, like, when they're going to fly off the handle.
Also, like, it could give away your secret identity.
Right.
You're just hanging out at a party, right? And then all of a sudden, Jack blows up the swimming pool, and then everybody knows that you're a super.
Yeah, or at least your child is.
And then the villains are after you.
Right.
Well, and also, I mean, if they could kidnap your kid and raise him as a villain, I mean, that's...
And Jack was powerful.
Yeah, I know. Imagine if you could, like, do, like, a Hitler Youth type situation on him.
Yeah.
You could really cause some real trouble.
So it's almost like you need more than a daycare. It's almost like you need a place that...
A prison?
Yeah, well, and I didn't want to say the words baby prison, but essentially, yes, you need, like, a confinement center. That doesn't sound any better.
That's way worse. Yeah. That sounds even more terrible. It sounds like the government's kidnapping super kids.
Yeah.
Which there's tons of actual, like, sci-fi about.
Here's a thought. Here's something I got. What about that one X-Man who has the power to, like, suppress other people? That is his power, is suppression of other people.
That guy would be the highest, like, paid babysitter in existence.
Because he could just be a normal dude.
Yeah, he could just be hanging out with the kids. You'd have to pay him so much money.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to belong to, like, an organization. They'd pay him millions, and he'd just be like, the whole, you know, establishment would be under his, like, aura of, I don't know how it works.
Of his, like, powers.
Yeah, and so that would be, you'd have to send everyone there, probably.
You'd have to almost do, like, a situation like the Professor X School for Gifted Youngsters, where you have this guy who's got, like, psychic powers who can kind of calm things down if you need to, can freeze time, or, like, go into somebody's brain and stop them from murdering the babysitter.
Right.
That guy, either you need that or the other X-Men guy, but, like, just your average superhero was not going to cut it.
But that's even easier. I mean, yeah, you're right. And Professor X had a immense amount of power, but that's even better than babies, though, because once you get to that age, they're basically all teenagers.
Yeah, but they're all still hopped up on their hormones.
They
and
are.
wanting to sleep with each other.
But they're not going to, little Jimmy stole my ice cream cone, I'm going to fry him now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen for a teenager. They might get mad, they might get in a fight, but they're probably not just going to instantly vaporize someone because something happened. They stub their toe, they get upset, vaporize somebody, right? Like, it's not a good combo for small children to have superpowers.
No, I totally agree. See, I think what would happen, unfortunately, is like either the best superheroes with the best powers would go into babysitting because that's where all the money is. So they'd get super rich.
Yeah.
And then use it to exploit the government.
Right. Well, because that's of course all they do with the money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that kind of is the option. Or like I said,
so that's what
for,
I
like,
would do. Is basically what I'm saying.
But you're Vomit Man, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
would. I wouldn't be able to.
no
do
way
it.
you wouldn't be
I'd be
able to.
basically like some kid's about to fry somebody, and all of a sudden he'd vomit or have terrible gas.
I mean,
diarrhea.
that could curb some things actually,
but probably not in the long term, and it would be really messy.
yeah. You'd be the last resort. Like, we can't get him under control. You got to make him vomit. We have no other options.
I'm like the guy who can't get any work for anything.
Yeah.
But I'm like on call for when the regular guys can't make it in. I'm like, yes, finally got a job. You're gonna be a superhero? Nope, babysitter. See you later. I come back like all my hair's burned off. My clothes are destroyed.
I actually think, though, the more we talk about this, it would be a more dangerous job than like fighting crime, even others like supervillains, because you know what you're getting into with other supervillains. They're trying to kill you. You know how they're trying to kill you. You've got a room full of a dozen 5-year-olds who have who knows what cocktail of powers that are probably still somewhat developing, that at any time could fire off something.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they don't know all Jack's powers. He still might have more we haven't discovered.
Yeah.
Like, what if, like, you're just like, oh, this kid, like, he's got the power of, like, teleportation. And then all of a sudden, his hand turns into magma and he burns off your arm.
Right. And that actually brings up another good point, though, is that maybe not every child would need like to be in the high intensity security of the baby daycare, because if you've got a baby that all he can do is make people vomit, yeah, that's unpleasant. You're probably going to be vomiting a lot, but it's you're not going to need to keep him under lock and key for fear of him murdering people on accident.
Yeah, unless you just kept making him vomit continuously until there's just nothing left.
That's true.
It'd be a slow, painful death.
Pretty bad way to go.
It's like the equivalent of just like getting stabbed with a small fork over and over again until you die. But like the other thing is the walls on this place would have to be like basically it'd have to be like a bomb shelter.
Right.
2, how are you going to keep the kids that can teleport?
Stasis chambers that you don't really. This is what you got to do.
You'd have to like put them in like
stasis.
a suit that just basically inhibited their powers.
Do those exist? I mean,
I don't know.
You'd probably have to develop them pretty quick.
Yeah. Like, there would be a lot of government research into figuring out a way to like just put this on. It neutralizes your power of your like kid, so he doesn't murder the daycare staff.
Yeah. But there has to be a learning curve for them to learn how to use their powers as well, and that'd be part of daycare. That's
true, because then they get out of daycare and they have no idea how to use their control it, and they're like 6 years old and in kindergarten.
That sounds even worse now.
Yeah, you'd have to like basically let them also start like you'd have to do like real daycare where it's like socializing, but part of it would be like learn to control your powers hour.
Yeah,
where you like the guy who's got the like ability to mute all the powers like leaves, goes to lunch.
Yeah,
and then you just hope he's gone and nothing terrible
horrible happens. He comes back. 7 teleportation babies on the loose. Already?
No. Yeah.
Well, they're a danger to themselves too. Like, if you could teleport, you're a baby, accident teleport, I don't know, bottom of the ocean, you're not getting out of that.
Yeah, but he might just teleport himself away from that. His fear reflexes would kick in and he'd just teleport away.
So he'd just be like blinking around.
Probably.
Like, who knows where he's going to show up next.
In and out of danger constantly. Into the mouth of a tiger, out from that to a skyscraper, down to the ocean, over to a moving car. I don't know.
I feel like sometimes you have to come to a nice place, though. Maybe
Tell me
stop
that
there.
Dr. or Professor X's powers wouldn't just be used to track down missing people. It'd be like, this person's missing. Where is he? And then he'd be like, either they're dead, I can't find them, so they must be dead, or they're over there.
Yeah. Well, that's why I had the whole, I don't remember what it's called, Cerebro, something like that.
Yeah,
that
just
was
amplified his
just to
powers.
find people, essentially is what he used it for.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Although, slight tangent here, could he just kill a man with that thing? Like
Well, that's
anywhere
what
in the
they
world?
basically in one of the movies. They have that girl, like that person used. No, it's not the girl. It's the boy who like gives him hallucinations, and he pretends to be a little girl that asks him to find this person, and then he says, "Oh, you should find all the people, and then kill all the people." So they do try. He does actually get tricked into trying to murder all the people.
So if he just wanted one person anywhere in the world dead, he could probably do it.
Oh, easily. I mean, there's probably tons of unexplained murders
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, I feel like Professor X is also, he's not like
I mean-
opposed to taking justice into his own hands.
Well, I think he kind of is. But
his whole school is illegal.
tell me if you didn't have that power that you wouldn't eventually just start picking and choosing who should live and die.
I think it'd be hard not to.
You'd have to have a massive, like a really, really strong moral compass that was
Yeah.
like, I shall not like abuse my power. But of course, for me, I would definitely abuse it. I'd be like, I wonder what the lotto numbers are going to be. I'm going to go buy that ticket.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I'd be like, that guy kidnapped that kid. He's dead. You just go find him
Right.
and kill him.
Get that kid out of there.
But then soon it just like you get so desensitized that like somebody cuts you off and then you kill them.
Blast them.
Yeah. Oh, they're just dead in their car.
Okay, so going back to the babies, you're a full-grown man, and you even think you'd get drunk with power. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely be drunk on power.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be friends anymore. I'd definitely.
So you're a human. Let's say you're a human parent, regular human. I guess they're all human. You're non-super
I'm a
powered.
regular human.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
because
have-
why would anybody think I wasn't a regular
Right.
human?
Exactly.
Yes.
Just for the sake of argument. But then you have a superpowered baby.
Uh-huh.
What's to stop that baby from saying, "Oh, well, you're inferior"? Like he's got a power complex because you birthed him, but look at you, you're just a weak human. Like,
Well, that's what I'd be
no
worried about
super.
when they became a teenager.
yeah,
That's what old Ed needs to worry about the most, is like his teenage son or daughter. It's just like, what do you have over me? Like, what business is it of yours, like, to tell me what I can and can't do, you inferior being? And then it either just leaves or murders you.
and the worst part is he's technically right. You are an inferior being.
Well, the other thing is, we haven't, like, that's the best case scenario, that you're a good parent.
Right.
If you're a crappy parent, your kid's definitely going to kill you.
Oh no question.
Like, there's no, like, it would basically be the survival of the fittest. Like, you would, and you would really hope that you didn't have a kid who unfortunately was born with some sort of mental disorder or something, or like some sort of like psychotic streak, because then you just kill everyone.
I think we'd invest a lot more money into mental health as well if
Oh,
there's supers running
We
around.
definitely have to.
Yeah. Making sure, like, regular like, if you get a physical checkup, get a mental checkup while you're there. Have a psychiatrist come in, have a conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because poor old Ed, I feel bad for him because I think we've explained his death like 7 or 8 times. So if you were in Vegas and you had to bet on whether Ed and his super baby, does Ed make it to retirement? Like, what are your odds that you're putting on that? Like, how much?
For me to bet that he would make it, what would the odds have to be?
Yeah.
Very high, like 50 to 1 probably.
50 to
Yeah.
1. So you're saying,
For me to actually bet
There's
on
a-
it, yeah.
so there's a 1 in 50 chance that he lives, essentially,
Exactly.
to see his retirement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, really, I think you could say that he'd live 5 years. I think the odds would be pretty much the same, because I think if something was going to happen, it would be very early or right at that, 16, 17-year-old mark for a teenager.
See, I don't think it's quite that high. I would really hope it wouldn't be like every normal parent is going to get killed within like 5 years of having a child. That would really discourage people from marrying supers.
Well, yeah. But where did the first supers come from, though, too? I guess.
I don't
maybe,
know.
Okay, maybe it won't be that high. Still, I think that it would be extremely high, though. I think that the mortality rate would be extremely high.
I think it would be like 1 in 3.
That, no.
Yeah, I think 1 in 3 would get killed by their kid. That's still 33% of all non-super parents are getting killed.
But again, we're talking about this is people without any guidance.
Most likely higher statistic for men getting killed than like the moms.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I have 2 nieces and a nephew, and if one of them had the power to vaporize me, I'd probably be vaporized already. And I'm not even raising the kids myself. You know what I mean? I watch them.
Yeah,
There's a really good chance that I would be vaporized.
Yeah, you'd definitely be, as far as harmed, you'd definitely be harmed. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
Like, you'd be harmed for sure. That's 100%. There's no odds you could give me that would make me
Right.
bet that person would never be harmed
I
by
think
their kid.
I think where I'm making the mistake is I'm assuming every child has the opportunity to instantly vaporize you. That's not the case. A
Yeah.
lot of them would be a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
So you're probably right. I think in that case 1 in 3 actually might be a little too high. Like I think maybe 1 in 5 would end up getting killed. Because if someone's just got telekinesis, you're going to get something thrown at you several times. Maybe even something sharp like a knife. But you're probably not going to get killed from it unless the child actually wants you dead.
It's the Talladega Nights situation where he gets a knife in his leg.
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, I'll help you get it out with this other knife. Ah! Stop. You're killing me.
Exactly.
Oh, brother. Ah, wow. That is horrifying. I think I speak for all of us when I say we hope that supers never become a reality.
Yes.
Because it would lead to basically all of us getting murdered without superpowers. We're all dead. Mutants would definitely have wiped us out a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. I think X-Men is very optimistic on the human-mutant relations. I think that Magneto is probably more in line with what would actually happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It would be, a mutant who was powerful enough and persuasive enough would rise to power and kill us all. Would become a dictator. Eventually, I'm sure a mutant civil war would break out. Maybe some of us would be alive, living in our own small, like in the wilderness.
Like outcast communities.
Essentially, we'd have to go live with like the bush people or something if we actually had any hope of living.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure we couldn't convert to their lifestyle, so we'd still probably die.
So really, we have no hope at all.
Essentially. So here's to us all being dead before that happens.
I'm for it.
Me too. All right. Well, I think this has been a tremendous episode.
I've had a lot of fun.
I got to say thanks to Bagsby for stopping by. And I'm Rick.
And I'm Bagsby.
Have a good one.